Hello everyone. It's a beautiful day out here in Minnesota. Sun shining, birds are singing. It's wonderful. First I want to say thank you to everyone who has tuned into my last broadcast. I want to thank you for supporting my work and my message and my cause. I wanted to say a little bit more about my history, about the work that I've been doing for a long time now. Because when I began to awaken at the age of 23, 24, right away I delved into some of the deep esoteric knowledge and science of Taoism, and Zen Buddhism, and it led me to even deeper knowledge that goes prior to that. So in every spiritual tradition, whether it's Christianity, Islam, Judaism, any major religion, there's always a deep esoteric science that came prior to that. You got to think of our roots as a species. Ancient shamanism, that we were all tribal peoples at one point in time, and so those were like the first basic traditions, and then it kind of morphed over time and became, so in Christianity you have Gnosticism. That's the esoteric tradition, or the inner teachings and knowledge of that tradition. In Islam, it's known as Sufism, and in Judaism they have the Tree of Life. What's the name of that tradition? Anyway, Judaism has its own esoteric science as well. But it's all about the developing of the divine consciousness within the human being. And so it's so throughout my process on the healing path and on the spiritual journey, I've delved into many different traditions, and they really kind of all are very similar. And it's amazing, like how we believe we're all very, very different, and from all different places throughout the world, but honestly, fundamentally, we're very much like the same, especially in our spiritual connection with the divine. It shows up pretty much similar, and it's really profound in that sense. And so when I started out, it was Taoism, Zen Buddhism. I loved the works of Alan Watts. I listened to him a lot. But I was also seeing many different teachers and healers at the time, back when I was about 23 and many years after that, where I was receiving ongoing transmissions of light and Shakti or Kundalini, and that would start to work on me and clear out my chakras and my entire energetic system so that I could become more whole, and also like an empty vessel for which the divine could work through. And that really just sums up the spiritual journey. We walk upon this earth and we acquire all sorts of stuff in us, from the outside world. We from our knowledge systems, educational systems, the societal constructs, all that stuff. It fills us up with all the stimuli, and so what happens is we start to awaken. We start to realize, like, oh my God, I perceive the world through this lens of all this acquired stuff. And so right away you start shedding that stuff off of you, and your perception becomes clear and more pristine. At least it did for me. And and many people that I've met on the path. It's, you know, as you do that deep inner work and you're receiving those blessings and those transmissions, it really starts to just dissolve and transmute all of that junk. And so that's kind of like the basis of my work, you know, as a quote healer, spiritual teacher and coach, is that through the transmission of divine love and light and grace, it will help to dissolve, you know, what I call the spiritual baggage or anything like that, like karma and stuff like that. But also, the most important thing that I think that I need to speak to, because this is where a lot of people get a little confused or caught up, is that when the light or the grace, you know, hits, it will start to work on the that stuff in you, and it will kind of bring it up into your awareness, and that can be really difficult to witness our own you know, issues, being faced with our own self. But with the proper support system, we can actually make it through that part, because it can get pretty muddied up, you know, when you have, you know, all of this personal stuff come up, you know, whether it's self-esteem or self-worth or things we've done that we regret or have resentments, grief. I mean, these things are pretty hard to process, but that's why the intuitive coaching comes into place. After you get the healing and the transmission, to follow up with the coaching is to really help you process through the story of your life and those experiences you've been through. And so that you can clean out your system and become fully yourself. Really, it's about birthing your true self, your divine self. And that's been the process I've been on in my journey for you know, since the age of 23, like almost 10 years now. And you know, and the clarity, it gets more pristine, and the wisdom and knowledge becomes more, you know, like just more, how do I say it? It becomes more palpable, a reality, you know. And so, and there's so many miracles that manifest, you know. But I think the most difficult part of this process and journey is really being aware of our own selves and facing our own stuff. And that's what we call shadow work. And that's part of the intuitive coaching as well. Because how can we resolve or reconcile something we can't see or we're not aware of? Just not possible. And so it takes somebody who's done a significant level of inner work to be able to gently sit with you and bring those, or to sit with you and gently bring those things to your awareness in a loving, caring, and compassionate way, so that you don't like hit the door running and freak out. It has to be gentle, you know. So anyway, I guess I'll just wrap that up there. I hope this information has helped you in some way, and just taught you a little bit more about who I am and what I'm doing and the work that I'm involved in. I also do other like deeper spiritual work with energy, you know, because this is where it gets a lot deeper for most people. It's because in our energetic system, in our chakra system, in our, you know, in I know in China, in Chinese systems, they call it like meridians and stuff like that. So, but we get things that they're invasive, they get embedded in us over our lifetime, and we really need to extract those things so that they don't interfere anymore with our success and with our spiritual, our journey, you know, because they can cause blockages or disturbances in even in our you know, our mind and thoughts and stuff. And so those things have to be extracted. It's just all part of the cleansing process that I've been talking about the whole time. And so there's some more specific work that I do, and it's a lot deeper. So anyway, I hope to meet you all one day, and you can visit my website, gabrielcorral.com. Give me a call at 612-594-4714 if you have any questions, more questions about my work or setting up a session. And I'm also willing to work with people on pricing too. You know, I think that everyone deserves to be blessed no matter your financial circumstance, you know. So just know that I am compassionate about pricing. So I love you all very much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for your ongoing support with my work and this journey. So many blessings to all of you.